Call to order. Call to order, introduction, accessory statement. This meeting is accessible to people with disabilities. Microphones or telephones will be used by all speakers. Large print materials are available upon advance request. If you would like either of these accommodations, please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833. The notice of non-discrimination rights and protections to beneficiaries with regard to the federal Title VI/non-discrimination protections and the state non-discrimination protections is posted in this meeting room and is available on the Old Colony Planning website. Please contact Mary Waldron at 508-583-1833 and for more information. Thank you, and thank you all for attending today. And Bill, would you like to do the roll call?
Yes, ma'am. Abington.
Johnstone.
Alternate.
Thank you. Avon. Bridgewater.
Shane O'Brien, Town Planner.
Thank you. Brockton.
Rob May.
Excellent. Duxbury. East Bridgewater. Easton. Halifax.
Really?
Hanson.
Yes.
Thank you, Doug. Hanover. Kingston. Pembroke. Plymouth. Plimpton. Stoughton. West Bridgewater. Whitman.
Alternate.
Thank you. Brockton Area Transit.
Here.
Thank you. Gatra. MassDOT District 5.
Here, Barbara.
Rubber. And MassDOT Office of Transportation Planning.
Hello, everyone. This is Raisa Kwame from OTP.
Marisa, thank you. All set, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Bill. I'm going to move on to 2, which is public comments. Do we have any public comments at this time? All right, hearing none, I'm going to move on to 3, which are the minutes of November 2nd, 2023 meeting. Do I have any comments?
I'll have a
Are we ready?
motion to accept. Second.
Okay. Second by Rob May.
Yes,
All in
ma'am.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you want to do a roll call, Bill, please?
Sure. Abington.
Yes.
Avon.
Yes.
Bridgewater.
Yes.
Brockton.
Yes.
East. Duxbury. East Bridgewater. Easton. Halifax. Hanover. Hanson.
Yes.
Thank you. Kingston. Pembroke. Plymouth. Plimpton. Stoughton. West Bridgewater. Whitman.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Brockton Area Transit.
Yes.
Gatra. MassDOT District 5. And MassDOT OTP.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Moving on to item number 4, which is communications.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome.
First off, we have a Safe Routes to School webinar for municipalities. That'll be held on January 24th from 12 to 1 p.m. And this is for municipal staff, transportation, mobility, public works, planning, police department, public health, etc. Safe Routes to School task force members, Safe Routes to School and Alliance partners, and anyone interested and learning about the whole community approach to safe routes to school are encouraged to attend. For more information, you can visit the link provided. Next is FY 2024 Regional Transit Innovation Grant. Through the state budgeting process, MassDOT has available $15 million in discretionary operating and capital funding to award to transit providers as transit innovation grants. Awards will be made on a competitive basis with funding provided contractually. At least 25% of the funding will be reserved for rural areas. Successful applicants will be required to report quarterly on their progress for the duration of the grant, as well as provide a one-page summary report of accomplishments at the end of the grant. Applications for this are due by January 19th, 2024. The 2024 Mass Trails Grant application. Mass Trails provides grants to support recreational trail and shared use pathway projects across the Commonwealth. The award maximum depends on the project type and needs, and generally $100,000 for recreational trails projects and up to $500,000 for shared use path projects demonstrating critical network connections of regional or statewide significance. And applications for this are due Thursday, February 1st, 2024. There will be a free trail planning webinar, Trail Planning and Design, Foundations of Success. The webinar will review several common approaches and technologies for trail planning and design projects, as well as provide attendees with real-world examples. This will be held on Thursday, December 7th. So that's actually right now from 1 to 2 p.m. And then tonight is the OCPC's annual summit. I hope everyone was able to register, and we'll see you all there tonight. Next is the Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations live Notice of Funding Opportunity Tracker. This tool identifies and tracks federal funding opportunities from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, Investment, Infrastructure, and Jobs Act that are most relevant to MPOs. This tracker is updated weekly with critical info on upcoming federal funding opportunities. And you can find the tracker available in the link provided. And that is it.
Thank you, Kyle. Any questions for Kyle? Alrighty, hearing none, I'm going to move forward on to item 5, which is reports. First one is Rockland Area Regional Transit Authority, that, and that would be Michael Lambert.
Thank you, Chair. As most of you know, we went fare-free on December 1st. Subsequent to after that, we hit a new high since COVID of 9,000 trips in combination with Bridgewater State. So no coincidence there, but that is great to see. We don't expect for that type of ridership to continue, because typically we see ridership drop off when the snow hits the ground and it becomes harder to walk around town and less comfortable. But what the free fares will do will allow us to avoid a drop in ridership during this part of the year. Fares will be free through the end of May, thanks to a state grant. And we're hopeful that the opportunity to hop on and off the bus will be a great way to introduce our doubled service on Saturday and Sundays. We are starting our capital planning process for the upcoming year, as well as the 4 behind that. A big aspect of that planning process will be electrification, which we continue to work on a near daily basis with National Grid, our consultants, and other partners in order to prepare for the arrival of our first electric buses in late spring of next year, of 2024. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mike. Any comments or questions? I have a comment, for you, Mike. A big congratulations on getting that monies for that, for free fares for that long and length of time.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to really collect a lot of statistics and attract people that maybe weren't sure they wanted to take the bus. So, just that group particularly, excellent work. That's wonderful. Great for the residents.
You put your finger right on it. Now, there's sort of three different elements to the free fare program. First is just what you said, attracting new riders. There's no barrier to entry. There's no worrying about exact change. There's no loading the trolley car. Just hop on the bus as it goes by. And that's a
Right.
real helpful aspect to introducing new customers to the system. Second is, of course, providing a little bit of relief to our current customers, who I'm sure appreciate every little bit, but that can help. And third is, of course, supporting our local economy, businesses, housing, and helping people to move around town, spend money during the holiday season, and provide some support for the brick and mortar businesses that face challenges every day in our region.
You're so right. It just makes it less complicated for people to have a service like that offered to them, especially, this time of year starting out, and then they'll continue to use it. Great job.
Hopefully.
Great
Yeah.
job. Any other comments or questions for Beth, Mike? All right, thank you so much. Item B is the Greater Attleboro Taunton Regional Transit Authority, GATRA, and would that be Kyle again if we don't have a GATRA member?
I don't have anything to report, so if there's no one here from GATRA, then
Okay,
I don't think we have anything.
okay, great. What about the next item, which is the South Coast Rail Project?
Yeah,
Do we have?
I'll be
Okay,
reporting on that.
Great. All right, thanks, Kyle.
So in November 2023, work conducted involved fencing installation in 7 communities, emergency evacuation training drill at the Whales Tooth parking lot in New Bedford, construction of a pedestrian bridge over Route 18 in New Bedford, daytime sidewalk, paving and curb work at 2 intersections in New Bedford, road closure, detour, and 24-hour railroad crossing work in Berkeley and Taunton, daytime road, sidewalk, and traffic signal work in New Bedford, and signal system installation and testing in 7 communities. Additional work done included daytime construction at station sites, layover sites, and along the right-of-way from Middleborough to New Bedford, as well as from Berkeley to Fall River. There was also transportation of soil by truck to designated project sites. And if anyone is interested in signing up for the weekly updates on the South Coast Rail Project, you can follow the link provided in the staff report.
Thank you, Kyle. Do we have any comments or questions for Kyle?
Rick Jordan from Avon.
Hi, Rick.
Do you have a operational date for train service in Taunton and New Bedford? I heard New Bedford is now June.
Yes, I believe it's sometime next year. I think it might be June. I think that's what Gene Fox said.
Yep, that's what she said at our last meeting.
Yeah.
At the earliest.
Do I have any other comments or questions for Kyle? All right, thank you. Hearing none, I'll move forward. Under old business, which is the FFY 2024 to 2028 Application Improvement Program implementation. And Bill will be reporting on Amendment 1 and Adjustment 1. And you probably got Bill's message. He's not going to be showing his face. He's not feeling great today, but he is joining us. So thank you, Bill.
Right,
You're on.
right. All right, thank you, Madam Chair. So as you recall, at our last JTC meeting, we presented on Amendment 1. That was to amend in a couple of projects and federal grants, and in that time frame, an adjustment popped up, and both of those went before the MPO on November 21st, and they endorsed both. So I'll just quickly run through this just so the committee is aware of what changed based on the public review and comment period. So run the screen there. The first part you see, Brockton Area Transit, the purchase of miscellaneous power and electrical equipment that was removed from programming 2024. That had originally been that was a program in 2023. We had an amendment action in 2023 to amend that out of 2023 to 2024. But this BAT is no longer pursuing this project as that essentially is going to be taken care of by their no and low emission grant program, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So that's coming out or came out per amendment. So the next one, the amending in the federal grant for the no and low emission vehicle program. The comments on that were that the total project cost with the state match had to be reflected in the tip. So that the total with the state match is 17 million and change, and you can see a table that breaks that down. So that programming is also split into two components, basically the capital improvement for the vehicles, and then another component for the workforce training on that. So the federal components of those of that grant is being programmed in 2024, and then you can see in 2025, 2026, and 2027. You can see state match programmed. Next page. The next one, so the town of Plymouth, they received a national culvert program grant through the bipartisan infrastructure law. That similarly to the last one, that needed to reflect the total project cost with the federal grant money plus the local match. So that brought that total project cost to $2,800,000, and that's been corrected. So, and then the downtown Brockton infrastructure grant that was that didn't need any revisions, so that project's been added in. Next page. So that covers Amendment 1, and then so as I mentioned, an adjustment popped up. If you have a sharp memory, you'll recall that last year we had 3 community transit grant awards in the region for Brockton Area Transit and the Brockton Area ARC. The federal portions of those awards were amended in, but similarly to the other program, we had to add in the state match. So in 2024, you can see here the state matches for those grants, and as this is state money, not federal money, this only necessitated an adjustment, not an amendment. So this didn't have to go out to public review or comment period, and this was endorsed at the last MPO meeting. And that is my update.
Thank you, Bill. Any questions on the TIP projects or the adjustment? All right, hearing none. Is new business? FY 2025, the Transportation Improvement Program development, and we'll be talking about the development timeline and university projects, and your Colony Transportation Improvement Program evaluation criteria, presentation and discussion, and I'm gonna turn this over again to Bill.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And
Uh,
Bill,
s-
Bill, before you start, just Noreen, when you are speaking, when you turn your head a little bit, it's hard to hear you, but
Okay,
just
okay.
want to let you know that. Sorry, Bill. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. So we're kicking off the development of the 2025 to 2029 tip. So as you may recall from past years, this is the time of year that development process starts, and it's going to really ramp up over the next couple months. And generally, through January and early February, we consulting with project proponents and MassDOT, talking about these projects, looking at further the state of currently programmed projects in 2024 through 2028, and then looking at what projects may be added into 2029. So generally, what happens is we'll come up with 2 or 3 scenarios, funding scenarios for the tip. We'll present that to the MPO in March. They'll determine a preferred set of projects, which will then go out to a public review and comment period. And then the ultimate goal is to have an endorsed 2025 to 2029 tip this coming May 2024. So if you'll be with me, I'll start going through the universal projects. I won't spend a whole lot of time on any individual project. If you have any questions, you can ask at the end. And then if MassDOT wants to chime in on any of these projects at any moment, feel free to jump in. But so starting in Abington, intersection improvements at Hancock Street, at Chestnut Street, that is programmed, currently programmed in 2026. That's at 25% design. It's been at 25% design for a while. And you can see the cost estimate there on the page. In Abington, Brockton, pedestrian and bicycle improvements on Route 123, that is currently not programmed. That is at the 25% design stage, and the cost estimate is 20 million and change. Abington intersection improvements at Randolph Street, at Richard Fitz Drive, and Chestnut Street and Old Randolph Street, that is currently programmed in 2027. And the last time I checked with the design engineer on this, I think the 25s were expected in early 2024, so January, February, that time frame. I think they're expecting 25s for that. The cost estimate on that is $3.7 million. Abington intersection improvements at Route 18 and Route 123. That is currently programmed in 2028, and cost estimate on that is 5.3 million change, and that is in the preliminary design phase. Moving on to Avon intersection improvements at Route 28, Spring Street, and Harrison Boulevard. This project is programmed in 2026. It's in the preliminary design phase currently, and cost estimate is $3.75 million. Also in Avon, corridor improvements on Route 28. That is not programmed. It's in the preliminary design phase, and cost estimate is right around current cost estimate is right around $4 million. Moving into the City of Champions, Brockton, intersection improvements and related work at Center Street, Cary Street, and Plymouth Street. Center Street, Cary, and Lyman. That is currently programmed in 2024. PSA, that's at the PSNE stage, and the cost estimate on that is just over $3 million. Brockton, Route 123, Center Street, at Plymouth Street. That is currently programmed in 2024. That is at the 25% design stage. You can see cost estimate on that is $2.79 million. Brockton improvements at Crescent Street, at Summer Street, that is currently programmed in 2025, and that is at the 25% design stage. Brockton intersection improvements at Crescent Street, Quincy Street and Massasoit Boulevard. This project is currently not programmed. It's at 25% design. It's been at 25% design since, with no active movement since 2015. And that likely needs, the 25s probably need to be resubmitted on that. Go forward. Abington and Brockton, pedestrian and bicycle improvements. Route 123, it's currently not programmed. Brockton intersection improvements at Route 123, Belmont Street, Pearl Street, and Stonehill Street. This is currently programmed in 2028. It's in the preliminary design phase, and the cost estimate is right around $7.4 million right now. And Brockton, also in Brockton, improvements on Forest Avenue, that is not currently programmed, and current cost estimate is about 8.7 million at this preliminary design phase. Duxbury, we have the ramps at Route 3A and Route 3 that is programmed in 2026, and the current cost estimate on that is 2.4 million. That's in the preliminary design phase. Duxbury, the bridge replacement of the Powder Point Avenue Bridge over Duxbury Bay. Cost estimate on that is $70 million. That's going to be advanced constructed over multiple years, beginning in 2027. It's in the preliminary design phase. Duxbury intersection improvements at Route 53 and Franklin Street. This is a brand new project, recently approved by the Project Review Committee. It's currently not programmed in preliminary design phase.
Bill, Allison Shane raised her hand.
Okay. Allison? You might be muted.
I just gave her permission to talk.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, can you hear me?
We
Yep,
can,
there
yes.
you go.
Thanks,
I
Allison.
think I was like not a panelist or something. I have a question about the bridge replacement. Could you just provide a little more details? Is that the maintenance of the wooden, or is that planned to be all cement? And then who are you coordinating with the town of Duxbury for that bridge?
So what I know of that, so yeah, that the state has been working the town. I know that they had a scoping meeting earlier in 2023 with Peter Butkus and I think Renee Reed. I believe that's going to be like
Paul Brogna.
Paul Brogna. I think Chris Ryan might have been there. So that my understanding is that's going to, since that's going to be done with federal dollars, and it would have to be up to current design standards for a bridge. That would be like a complete replacement. So with I know that no specific design has been identified as of yet, but I think the idea was that it was going to be like a concrete and steel bridge that would hold up to the elements there, but it's basically in the very preliminary design phase right now. That's all I know of it. So no specific design has been set. That's just my understanding, is they're kind of leaning towards that concrete and steel design, as that's engineering standards.
That makes sense. That's super helpful. So just to clarify, the 70 million would be from federal dollars. We wouldn't have to raise it as taxpayers.
Right. That's a that would be federal and state money that wouldn't be coming from the town or anything like that.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So moving on to East Bridgewater, intersection improvements at Route 18 and Route 106. It's currently not programmed. That's in the preliminary design phase, and the cost estimate on this is $3.5 million. Also in East Bridgewater, the Brid I'm sorry, Route 18 at Highland Street. That's also not programmed, also in the preliminary design phase, and that is at $3.5 million. And brand new project in East Bridgewater, bridge replacement, Pond Street over the Setauket River, and that's not programmed, preliminary design phase, and early estimate on that is 1.2 million or so. And so moving on to Easton, corridor improvements on Route 138, including the intersection of 138 and Elm Street that is currently programmed in 2025. That's 100% design, and the cost estimate on there is 7.1 million. Also, the resurfacing and related work on Route 138 from Roosevelt Circle to the Stoughton Town Line that is currently not programmed in the preliminary design phase. Improvements on Foundry Street, which is Route 106, currently not programmed. That's in the preliminary design phase. Reconstruction and related work at Route 138, Route 123 from Belmont Street to Depot Street, not programmed, preliminary design phase. And then intersection improvements at 138 and Turnpike Street, 138 Purchase Street, and Turnpike at Purchase Street, currently not programmed, preliminary design phase, and cost estimate on that is 7.4 million. In Hanover, corridor improvements on Route 139, right there in the town center at Main Street, Center Street, and Silver Street. That's currently programmed in 2028. It's in the preliminary design phase, and cost estimate on that is about $6 million. Hanover, this is a new project. That apologize, that's a typo there. It's repeated the same project, but it's intersection improvements at Route 53 and Broadway. That was approved by PRC very recently, last October, and that's currently not programmed, and that's in the preliminary design phase. Hanson, corridor improvements on Route 14. That is currently programmed in 2027. Subsurface utility engineering assessment has to be completed before this project can move forward, and that's currently current cost estimate on that is about $10.3 million. In Kingston, bridge replacement, Smith Lane over Route 3, that's currently not programmed, and that's in a preliminary design phase. And cost estimate on that is about 12.7 million. And then again, what I mentioned, Duxbury, since it sits on the town line, the ramps of Route 3 and Route 3 in 2026. In Plimpton, the bridge replacement over the Winnetoxet Road over the Winnetoxet River, that is currently that's programmed for this year, and 25%. That's a 25% design stage. Stoughton, corridor improvements on Route 138. So that's phase one from Charles Ave to Lincoln Street. That was advanced constructed over 2023 and 2024. And the cost estimate on phase one there is 11 million and change. Stoughton still, corridor improvements on Route 138 from the Canton Town Line to Charles Avenue. So this will be the phase two of this project. You may recall that was originally one entire project, and then it was broken up into two. It's currently not programmed. Anticipated that it could be 2024, as that's likely very close to, it should be very close to 100% design, as it was part of that original project. And the cost estimate on phase two is about $6 million. And reconstruction of Turnpike Street, that's at the 25% design stage. It's currently not programmed. And cost estimate on that is 42 million and change. In Stoughton, Canton Street, at School Street, Canton School in Summer Street, that is programmed in 2028, and that's at the preliminary design phase. Intersection improvements on Route 27, Park Street, and Turnpike Street. This is a new project approved by PRC earlier this year. This is the cost estimate on this is $3.2 million. And also a new project, bicycle and pedestrian improvements on Route 27. That's also in the preliminary design phase, and cost estimate on that is just north of $6 million. And so that's what we have in the universe of projects right now. So the process going forward with this, as I mentioned, we're going to be consulting with project proponents, looking at project readiness. The new projects will be scored using the transportation evaluation criteria, which I'm going to talk about in a moment in the next item. But and then consulting with MassDOT, and we have our annual tip readiness tip day, where we look at all these projects and we start putting the pieces together and see what can if projects can still remain where they are currently programmed, and what we can think about programming in 2029. Anyone have any questions on any of that? I know it's a lot.
Thank you, Bill. Great job on that. It is a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's far from the last time you're gonna be hearing about it.
Right.
So
But Bill, also, you always make yourself available, as does Charlie,
Yeah.
and the transportation staff. If there are any sidebar follow-up that any of the members would like, just reach out to them, either see them
Right.
tonight or reach out to them by,
Right.
call.
yeah, of course. So yeah, we whether it's these specific projects that are already in the universe, we're always here to talk about it. And then if you have projects in your community that you're looking to initiate, we're always here to help work with the town on those as well.
Thank you.
Question, has there been any work on the northern section of Route 24 involving Avon, Stoughton, and Randolph, Randolph outside of OCPC boundaries? Like projections of traffic or anything like that, or congestion monitoring?
Well, I know that there's always congestion monitoring that MassDOT does on a routine basis. I think they have a permanent count location at basically all three corners of that interchange of 24 and 128. But I know that there's it's just outside of our region, but I know that there's a bridge project on Route 24 in Randolph. They'll be kicking off fairly soon.
The Horse Bridge?
I'd be
The
interested in any link to the Mass DOT congestion information there.
so Sean Bailey's not on this meeting. He's currently on vacation, but I'll send that question to Sean. Sean manages our congestion management process, and I'm sure he can give you more information on that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great. You want to continue, Bill, on the next item?
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So transportation evaluation criteria. So we're in the process of updating our transportation evaluation criteria. So for those who may not be familiar, so those projects that I just went through, the universe of projects, when a project is initiated, it goes through evaluation, and so we score it, and it helps us, gives us a way to kind of compare projects against each other. For many years now, we've been using an 18-point scale that was originally developed by MassDOT. It hasn't been updated, and some of the conversations that we've had, like through our certification review with our federal partners, is that maybe it's time to kind of give us an overhaul. So we took that to heart, and so we've been developing this. So we're moving from that 18-point scale to a 100-point scale. And typically, so if you're familiar with the tip, when you look at the scoring of projects, you do see a number from 0 to 100. So typically, what we've always done, so that 18-point scale, we divided it into 1800. 18. We divided it into 18, and that gives us a number from 0 to 100. So that's typically how we've done it. But this will be so this is designed to be a more transparent and specific process of assigning points on specific criterion. It's the previous method was a little subjective in nature. For example, like when we looked at community support, we'd give that a rating anywhere from 0 to 3, and how we did that, was typically, it was a little subjective. If there's community support, it was always a 3, for example. This kind of narrows it down a little bit with specific criteria. So it has criterion in 6 categories. System preservation, so a project can receive upwards of a total of 30 points under system preservation. Also in safety, it can receive upwards of 30 points. And then mobility, economic impact, environmental and health impact, and community support and consistency with state, federal, and regional policies. Those can all receive upwards of 10 points. So I'm going to go through this in a moment. I'm not going to go through each specific criterion, but just kind of give you an idea of how this works. So if you want to go to the next page. So again, this is how that breaks down again. So system preservation and state of good repair, upwards of 30 points. Safety, upwards of 30 points. Mobility, economic impact, environmental effect, and community support and consistency with policy. Those are 10 points each. So a project in theory could, if it scored perfectly in all of these, could potentially receive 100 points. And then you can see in that middle column what these criterion are based on. So like system preservation, for example, is primary asset condition. So that if the roadway is going from really poor pavement conditions to excellent conditions, it would receive a maximum score. That'd be a primary asset. Secondary assets to a project. So if it's a corridor project where your primary asset is the roadway itself, your secondary assets would be sidewalks, bicycle amenities, accommodations, other assets of that project. The use of modern technology to improve efficiency, so that'll be considered. And then does it incorporate transit elements into its design? And then safety looks at 3 areas: motorist crash history and anticipated improvements, non-motorist crash history and anticipated improvements, and the use of proven safety measures on systematic safety improvements. Mobility, existing motorist congestion, its effect on mobility and accommodations for non-motorists, and its effect on system connectivity and access. Economic impact, it's going to look at access, if it provides access to or within a regional priority economic development area, if it's access to or within a business district, connectivity between housing, employment, and commerce, and then its effect on the freight network, regional freight network. environmental, so the effect on wetlands, wildlife, and natural resources. Does it protect or enhance water quality by improving stormwater management? How does it affect air quality and GHG emissions? Does it improve coastal resiliency if it's in a coastal area or a floodplain? Does it enhance local open space around it? And does it incorporate healthy transportation options? And then finally, so community support and consistency with policy. So that would be, does the project have a lot of community support from municipal leaders, legislative leaders? Is it identified in a local plan? And does it have an active design? Project is identified in regional plans, so the LRTP, or some other regional policy. It's consistent with performance targets, so PM1, PM2, PM3, and TAM, Transit Asset Management. And then the project supports federal and state policy. And then is it improving or having a negative impact on equity? So like environmental justice areas. So you want to go next page. So this gives you an idea of how this is going to break down. Again, I won't go through all this. What I will do is I'll email this document out to our contact list. It'll be made widely available, and we'll be soliciting comments from everyone on this. But you can see basically how it works. So primary asset condition and its effect on condition. So if it's going from poor or failing to a substantial improvement, you could receive 12 points in that category. Enhancements to secondary assets. So depending on the level of impact on the project, you could get anywhere from 8 points to 0 points. Use of modern technology to improve efficiency. You could get anywhere from 5 points to 0 points on that. Does it incorporate transit elements into its design? You could get anywhere from 5 points to 0 points on that. And then you have a total of 30 points in this category. So this is an idea of how this is going to work. And if you just want to go through the next page, to the next page. Yeah, so safety scoring, its impact on motorist crash history, and safety impact. So if it's an H-SIP location, that's automatic maximum number of points on this, 10. But if it's going to harm, have a negative impact on safety, you could get a -1. And say, like similarly for non-motorist, if it's H-SIP, 10 points. If it's going to have a negative impact, -1. So you can see basically, so these different criterion, the level of impact determines on how many points you're going to get. So next page. So mobility, again, you can see those categories there. Next page. Economic impact. So the criterion, again, the level of impacts that the project has will give the maximum, the most number of points in that for that particular criterion. Environmental and health, same thing. Then policy and community support. Very similar, same thing. So I'll pause there. Does anyone have any questions or comments on any of this?
And, as Mary had mentioned earlier, you can notify anyone, Bill or Charlie, whoever is working on this, if you had any questions. if you have questions that come up later.
Absolutely. So like I said, I'll email this document out to everyone on our contact list. And then, yeah, there'll be plenty of opportunity to provide comments and feedback. Kind of want to make this system as comprehensive as it can be. We are excited about this update to this TEC because, as I mentioned, it's been several years since we've adjusted this. In that time frame, things have changed. For example, we have those performance targets now for safety, system preservation, highway efficiency, and transit asset management. So we have those targets. So those are new since the last time. The evaluation criteria were updated. We have new policies like complete streets. So the great thing about this, we believe that we've achieved a system where it kind of accommodates everything under one umbrella. So projects, really robust projects, can score really well, and I think it'll provide a very transparent and fair scoring system going forward.
That's great, Bill. You folks have really delved into this and looked at it from all angles. So
and
that's great in looking at one spot instead of having to look at many programs.
mhm.
No.
And I'll note that this is, while the TEC is great, it gives us a starting point. It's just one aspect of how projects get programmed for project readiness, and also obviously the availability of funds is always going to be major factors as well. So
Absolutely. Anyone have any questions of Bill or comments at this time? Rick, you have a question on one of the documents? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
On a date? Maybe someone could answer that for you?
Oh yeah, the date of the Vision 2050 document roughly is a month and year if you have one.
September 2023.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Any other questions, Rick?
No, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from anyone or comments?
Good job presentation, Bill.
thanks, Bruce.
Yeah, excellent. Alrighty, I don't hear any. I'm gonna move on to item 8, which is other business. The community local technical assistance studies.
Yeah, so we've been busy with this program as usual. So we've you can see on the screen there, we did a traffic study for Crescent Street, Queen Street, and Massasoit Boulevard, getting updated data analysis and some updated data collection and data analysis that was sent off to the city as well as MassDOT and Federal Highway. In Duxbury, we did a road safety audit for Hollis Corner. In Stoughton, we did a road safety audit for the Plain Street corridor. And then in Whitman, we did a traffic study for Route 14, Auburn Street. And other projects we're currently working on. So we have data collection on multiple roadways in Bridgewater. In Plimpton, we have follow-up to a heavy commercial vehicle exclusion study that we did. So we're getting updated traffic data for that. In Stoughton, we have a road safety audit scheduled for the Pine Street corridor. And then we not on this sheet as I just got it this morning, we have a new request from joint request from Kingston and Duxbury to get some updated data analysis for Landing Road. And then the roadway that Landing becomes in Duxbury. So that'll be next spring.
Great. Thank you, Bill. Anyone have any questions of Bill on the assistance studies?
Yes, Noreen, I do.
Dan, yeah.
Yes, first of all, thank you for the Route 14 traffic study. In reading it, I noticed there's the speeds, the high speed was, I think it was 48 miles an hour in a certain area of Route 14. We have a citizen that would like to see that speed limit dropped. I think the speed might be categorized at 40 miles an hour or 35 or 40. He's saying coming out of the over 55 development on that corner, you think you're safe moving out, but you don't see cars coming around the corner. And it's kind of dangerous.
Mhm.
Years ago, before that was built, that area, there wasn't that many houses up there. But now there's a couple of developments and a lot more houses. It was basically Hog Memorial and Homeland Drive is where all the housing was. Now it goes right to the Brockton line.
Mhm.
And I'm just wondering if there's a way, or who makes the decision whether or not the speed limit of Route 14 should be lowered for the safety.
Yeah, so that'd be ultimately MassDOT's decision. That's a special speed permit on that roadway. So it is a little bit of a process. So first of
Yeah.
all, if MassDOT determines if that speed limit should be lowered, that existing state law would have to be repealed, and then they could establish a new speed limit. I've been having conversations with the police chief. I provided him
Okay.
with information on how the town can move forward. So basically, to start, you have to contact MassDOT District 5, Mary Jo Perry, and you know, they'll go from there. So
All right.
basically, what they'll look at is they'll look at current traffic counts, which we've provided you.
Yeah.
They'll look at crash history, and then they usually do a site visit. They'll look at the area, and then they'll determine if the existing speed permit is still applicable or if it should be adjusted. It is really difficult to lower a speed limit in Massachusetts when there's already an existing special speed permit. It's not impossible, but it's a very difficult process.
Yeah. Yeah, at least on Route 14, there's no passing lanes.
Right.
It's all, that helps. Hopefully it'll slow people down.
You're talking mostly, Dan, about Auburnville coming out there as you come
Yeah.
around. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've noticed
That's a tough corner. Seniors
It is.
look both ways and they
Yeah.
think they're safe. They go out and all of a sudden a car comes around the corner.
Yeah, it really
And
is.
it can be dangerous.
Right. It is.
Can I add something to the conversation?
Yes,
Um,
absolutely, Ray.
There is a possibility of putting warning signs. It's not, the legal speed, but you can, if there's like a curve or a problem with sight distance or something.
Yeah, that's an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, you can say like warning and put like 35 miles per hour or 30 miles per hour through this. And that I don't believe the town needs any permission to do that. But you want to have you want to consult with Mass DOT as
Yeah.
Bill said.
Yeah, I dropped a
Just-
link in the chat.
Yeah.
How to do that, right?
Yeah.
And
All right, good.
idea. Thank you, Ray.
I mentioned that to the chief and Bruce. Thank you.
And Charlie did drop that link in the chat too.
Yeah.
For requesting the special permit. Thank you, Dan. I did notice that
Yep.
too.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? And also another question, Bill. That request would come from the Board of Selectmen. When they
To,
contact, as far as,
yeah, I mean, it can come from the Board of Selectmen. It can come from Bruce. It can basically any town official, really.
okay. Just,
I would think it'd be the DPW commissioners
yeah,
where, they would order the signs and put them up,
okay, great.
but I'll let them know.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, everyone, for your input on that. We appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Item B, which is staff reviews on ENFs, EIRs, and MPCs, and I think that might be Kyle.
Yep. Thank you,
Kyle?
Madam Chair. So we have no new no new projects to report on, but we do have one certificate. It's for the town of Bridgewater, the Lakeshore Center Phase 4, the supplemental draft EIR. The certificate states that this project adequately and properly complies with MIPA. Next, we have a couple public notices. First is for the town of Kingston, notice of ecological restoration project. This project will improve the passage of fish species in the Jones River via permanent fishway at Forge Pond Dam and associated dredging of a fish passage channel through Forge Pond into Silver Lake in Kingston. And next, a notice of application for a 401 water quality certificate in Hanson. This application is for the water quality certificate. It's for the construction of 3 single-family dwellings off Lakeside Road in Hanson. And that'll complete my report.
Thank you, Kyle. Any comments or questions of Kyle? Alrighty, hearing none, I'm gonna move on to item C, which is regional concerns in local community transportation issues. So I'm gonna open that up to anyone who has any comments or questions. All right. Hearing none, thank you everyone for attending as usual. Great meeting. Thank you to all the OCPC staff members for making us sound a lot smarter than we are. And, and for all the hard work that you do. And
Yeah,
have-
Noreen, I'll have a dessert for you tonight.
You can because you can have all my stuff. I'm gonna miss
There
a
you go.
great meeting tonight. Have fun and
Yep.
a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Whitman.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That's a wrap. Thank you again, everyone, for
Yep.
coming.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great holiday.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Oh, yes,
Same to you. Yep.
to all.
Charlie, you still on? Mary,
think-
when's our next MPO meeting?
It's, there is being discussed right now. It might be whole December, but right now Charlie was having a discussion with,
Yeah, I know, because
Brockton Area Transit. So it's up to Brockton Area Transit to see if they want to move it to January. So we don't
Yeah.
know yet.
sorry, so you're gonna send out
Yes,
an
we
email
should-
about when the MPO meeting's at.
Correct. We
Okay.
should know by the end of day today.
Yeah, because I think the last month, wasn't it canceled?
I believe it was.
Yeah, so, okay, I'll see you tonight.